Hi and welcome back. I let too much time get away from us, and so I'm gonna do something different while I'm up. I've been really depressed the last 7 days, sleeping a lot, eating a lot, and I wasn't diving in the Word. I listened to a message from YouTube, like I try to do every morning, but that was the extent of it. I'd say some prayer, and you know when you're being cheap with your prayers when it only lasts a minute. And so I'm going to finish us in 2 Kings. I'm not going to be brutal and do it all at once. I'm going to do 2 chapters at a time. And I hope you join me, because the excitement is, it is very possible we're going to be done with the Old Testament by Christmas. That's my goal. And all it is I'm reading, trying not to do commentary because I'm not a pastor. I haven't been to seminary school. I just have my opinion and my experiences. And I hope you never take that as concrete without trying to have a discussion with elders that know better. I'm not afraid of that being something that's said. But anyway, am I saying that right? Because we read Job. There's Ezra, Nehemiah. I still believe we can do it. I'm not going to tell you how, but you know I've read a book straight through. So you don't have to keep up with me, but it's just so that it's available for you or anyone that wants to dive in the Word. I do it. I'll look for something on YouTube and just let it play in the background so I'm hearing it, and you do receive a message that way. And then when I go back to it, like there's things that come back to memory and I think, oh, I remember that story. So don't discount what we're doing. It's definitely a good thing that you're here, so thank you. Quick prayer and then we'll jump into 20. Father God, thank you. I am blessed to be able to come to you, dive into your word, and receive a message. Please keep the viewer and myself close, Lord. May you be in the midst of this reading, something that is actually being an intentional act of drawing closer to you. And wherever 2 or more gather in your name, you are there. So I believe that the viewer being there and me here, you are here as well. And we thank you for that. We thank you for all your blessings. We thank you that we can give you all our concerns, Lord. I pray that we do right now. May it be your voice, not my own, that is always heard, your message and not my own. Please bring us to a place where we can receive and understand, and I pray one day share it. We are blessed, and we give you all the praises, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Hezekiah's life extended. In those days Hezekiah was sick and near death, and Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amoz, went to him and said to him, Thus says the Lord, set your house in order, for you shall die and not live. Then he turned his face toward the wall and prayed to the Lord, saying, Remember now, O Lord, I pray, how I have walked before you in truth and with a loyal heart, and have done what was good in your sight. And Hezekiah wept bitterly. I can relate. Can you relate? Something just dreadful happening. You lost somebody. You failed at something. You're just so shook with emotion. And that's what he's doing. He's just been told he's going to die, but he's weeping to the Lord that it can't be. And it happened before Isaiah had gone out into the middle court that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, Return to tell Hezekiah, the leader of my people, Thus says the Lord, the God of David your father, I have heard your prayer. I have seen your tears. Surely I will heal you. On the 3rd day you shall go up to the house of the Lord, and I will add to your days 15 years. Amen. I will deliver you in this city from the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend the city of my own sake, and for the sake of my servant David. So he's going to bless Hezekiah with more life. Then Isaiah said, Take a lump of figs. So they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said to Isaiah, What is the sign that the Lord will heal me, and that I shall go up to the house of the Lord the 3rd day? Then Isaiah said, This is a sign to you from the Lord, that the Lord will do the thing which he has spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or go backward 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, It is an easy thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. No, but let the shadow go backward 10 degrees. So Isaiah the prophet cried out to the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backwards, by which it had gone down on the sundial of Ahaz. The Babylonians' envoys. 12. At the time of Berodach, Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent the letters and a present to Hezekiah, for he heard that Hezekiah had been sick, and Hezekiah was attentive to them, and showed them all the house of his treasures, the silver and the gold and the spices, the precious ointment, and all his armory, all that was found among his treasures. There was nothing in his house or in all his dominion that Hezekiah did not show them. Very open. They say in these times, don't disclose everything. You never know who's trying to use what they know about you against you. Sorry, I was talking a lot today, so my throat is scratchy. 14. Then Isaiah the prophet went to the king. Okay, this is after Hezekiah had shown them everything. Then Isaiah the prophet went to the king Hezekiah and said to him, "What did these men say, and from where did they come to you?" So Hezekiah said, "They came from a far country, from Babylon." And he said, What have they seen in your house?" So Hezekiah answered, "They have seen all that is in my house. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not shown them." Then Isaiah said to Hezekiah, "Hear the word of the Lord. Behold, the days are coming when all that is in your house and what your fathers have accumulated until this day shall be carried to Babylon. Nothing shall be left, says the Lord. And they shall take away some of your sons who will descend from you, whom you will beget, and they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon." So he's prophesying what is going to happen, message from the Lord. And just because I learned this, I'm going to share it. He's saying his sons would be taken captive. They would be taken to Babylon, and they would be turned into eunuchs, his kids. That's when they don't have, they chop off their organ, their member. And I don't know what they do to women, but eunuchs, they don't have any sex. And so they're like a servant. And that's all their life is being a eunuch, service. So Hezekiah said to Isaiah, "The word of the Lord which you have spoken is good." For he said, "Will there not be peace and truth, at least in my days?" Death of Hezekiah. Now the rest of the acts of Hezekiah, all his might, and how he made a pool and tunnel and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Hezekiah rested with his fathers. Then Manasseh his son reigned in his place. So even though he heard that news, it was like he wasn't bothered because he wouldn't be living through it. 21. Manasseh reigns in Judah. Manasseh was 12 years old when he became king, and he reigned 55 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Hephzibah, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord. Yes, he did evil in the sight of the Lord, according to the abomination of the nations, whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. For he rebuilt the high places which Hezekiah his father had destroyed. He raised up altars for Baal, and made a wooden image, as Ahab king of Israel had done. And he worshipped all the host of heaven, and served them. He also built altars in the house of the Lord, of which the Lord had said, "In Jerusalem I will put my name." And he built altars for all the host of heaven in the 2 courts of the house of the Lord. Also he made his son pass through the fire, practiced soothsaying, used witchcraft, and consulted spiritists and mediums. He did much evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. He even set a carved image of Asherah that he had made in the house, of which the Lord had said to David and to Solomon his son, "In the house and in Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of the tribes of Israel, I will put my name forever, and I will not make the feet of Israel wander any more from the land which I gave their fathers." Only if, this is a terrible thing what's happening right now. The Lord is saying is that's the place where I told you I would be. Let me finish there. I gave their fathers only if they are careful to do according to all that I have commanded them. So he was so disobedient, he put a carved image in the holy place, in the place that was built for God, the Ark of the Covenant, the tabernacle. So let's keep reading. And he did this without any hesitation, it seems, because he did so much. And his father before him had done well to serve God, and took down all of those places that they were supposed to. And here he is, he's building them back up. But they pay no attention. Okay. To do according all that I have commanded them, and according to the law that my servant Moses commanded them. But they paid no attention, and Manasseh seduced them to do more evil than the nations whom the Lord had destroyed before the children of Israel. And the Lord spoke by his servants, the prophets, saying, because Manasseh, king of Judah, has done these abominations, he has acted more wickedly than all the Amorites who were before him, and has also made Judah sin with his idols. Therefore, thus says the Lord God of Israel, behold, I am bringing such a calamity upon Jerusalem and Judah, and whoever hears of it, both his ears will tingle, and I will stretch over Jerusalem the measuring line of Samaria, and the plummet of the house of Ahab. I will wipe Jerusalem as one wipes a dish, wiping it and turning it upside down. So I will forsake the remnant of my inheritance and deliver them into the hand of their enemies, and they shall become victims of plunder to all their enemies, because they have done evil in my sight, and have provoked me to anger since the day their fathers came out of Egypt, even to this day. So the worst that has been done is happening right here as we're reading. 17. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh, all that he did. 16. Moreover, Manasseh shed very much innocent blood, till he had filled Jerusalem from one end to another, besides his sin, by which he made Judah sin, in doing evil in the sight of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Manasseh, all that he did, and the sin that he committed, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? So Manasseh rested with his fathers, and was buried in the garden of his own house, in the garden of Uzzah. Then his son Amon reigned in his place. Amon reigns in death. Amon was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned 2 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Meshullemeth, the daughter of Haraz of Jotbah, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and his father Manasseh had done. So he walked in all the ways that his father had walked, and he served the idols that his father had served, and worshipped them. He forsook the Lord God of his fathers, and did not walk in the way of the Lord, continuing to do evil. Then the servants of Amon conspired against him, and killed the king in his own house. But the people of the Lord executed all those who had conspired against King Amon. Then the people of the land made his son Josiah king in his place. Now the rest of the acts of Amon which he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And he was buried in his tomb in the garden of Uzzah. Then Josiah his son reigned in his place. That's 20 and 21. There was a lot of evil going on in that time. And it just reminded me of when people ask me about the war right now with Israel, I say God knows he's innocent. God is in the midst, and his will be done. I don't want to pick a side, because as we're reading in history, it was like Israel served God, then they didn't. They served God, and then they didn't. They worshiped false idols, and then they didn't. And then God did show favor, as we're reading, sometimes to their enemies. It wasn't just Israel that received God's love. It was all of his creation. But it seems like it was a teeter-totter this whole time in history. So I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't want to say it was right or wrong. I went into this when the war started believing that Israel was defending themselves. But I'm praying that God rain down some conviction on everybody's heart, that agreements are made, and that there's peace once again. Too much bloodshed, just like here. This is too much bloodshed. I pray that you received a message, and that you join me in just a few for 22 and 23. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Bye.